Okay, if you remember lesson 6, if you remember, you probably did this 5 minutes ago or yesterday. With lesson 6, we ended here, right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close out my projects that I worked on just so we can start fresh. So with lesson 7, you're utilizing that previous file that you had used, but we're going to start off with brand new files, right? You don't have to pull your original one. So with the typographic design, you're going to use your guides to position text. You're going to make a clipping mask from type. You're going to merge type with other layers. You're going to preview your fonts, format your text, flow your text along a path where you can see her speaking. And then you're also going to control type and positioning using the advanced features. Very, very fancy. This lesson, again, will take about an hour to complete. And we are going to use new files. So you're going to utilize your lesson 7 folder. Okay. So we're going to start here. And you're going to have this incredibly trendy design. And see, still, our hair is way better. I'm very proud of how we worked that out. So we're going to do our 07 start. Okay. All right, great. So we're here. We're going to save this as 07 working. And then we are going to make sure that we are on graphic and web from the workspace switcher in the option bar, okay? So we're going to go up here, we're going to window, we're going to go to our workspace. I'm going to change it from my teaching to graphics and web, all right? That's how we're set up. This allows us to have our character panel. It has our properties, all our layers and such, and then glyphs too. First, we're going to go ahead and do a clipping mask from type. So clipping mask is an object or a group of objects whose shapes mask other artwork so that the only areas within the clipping mask are visible. Again, crazy helpful for when you're working with multiple layers. You've got a destructive, you don't want to have a destructive image where you're using a texture behind it or an image. If you've been in your locations, you know, you'll see text with people built inside. I don't want to cut out each of those images because if I want to modify that or drag it over, it would ruin that image. And so using a clipping mask will allow you to manipulate the back end to be able to have it however you want it. So let's start by adding some non-printing guides. These guides are typically these cyan lines that pull up. It's just something that helps you on the screen. It will not be printed with it. So we're going to go to View, and we're going to say Fit on Screen. Okay, we've got everything here. We're going to go to View, and then we're going to go to Rulers. So if you look right here, our rulers are on. If your board looks like this and you don't have any of those, that means your rulers are off. Let me move this guy over. Come here. There. I'm going to drag him, drop him right there. All right, so we're going to go here, and we're going to view our rulers. You can always turn it back on like this. Click. Okay, now your rulers are visible. You can see that the 0 is going to start where your artboard starts. You can always adjust that, but it's right here at the corner, horizontally and vertically. They're already showing in inches, so we are good. We are going to drag a vertical guide at 4.25 inches. Okay, so if you need to zoom in a little bit to see where you're at, you can click here on the side, drag this over to 4.25 inches. Now you've got your like clicks to guide. So see, there's that cyan line. There it is. We're going to add some type. So we're going to enter a point type or paragraph style. So whenever you have your point type, it's an anchor to a point, and then the paragraph type is like multiple lines. We're going to create our point type first. You're going to select the horizontal type tool right here. We're going to choose a serif. So you can go over here in your options bar, and you can pick which type you want. So you go here, you can select by a serif, which narrows them down. A serif is any type that has a little whew on the edge of these letters. So sans serif means without a serif. And then, so if you look here, sans serif, see, none of these have that little serif at the top. Think Times New Roman for serif. Think Garmond and Georgia, things like that. But with a sans serif, that's, you know, your like Arial font, and then impact and such. So there you go, Calibri. So we're going to pick a serif font, and we are going to go, and we can really pick anything we want. but we're going to go with the example that they have, which is this Minion Pro. We're going to pick the regular, so let's make sure Minion Pro regular right here. Okay, a lot of options for Minion Pro. We're going to change the size to 115. And we are going to hit enter. We're going to select the centering. If we switch over to paragraph, it's going to be centered. And then we're going to change the tracking to 50. Okay. We're going to position that right over the center guide that we added, where it crosses the edge of her shadow. Okay, so we're going to click right up here. And we're going to say Typecast. Probably going to bring the size of that down. And click. Let it go right there. Go back up to so it's overlapping here. So anytime you need to edit this, double click it, highlights, and then you can make the modifications. So up here on our taskbar, you can always click here to be able to look at different fonts and types and be able to change it as it goes. The other thing is you can just arrow up and down, but if you do this, you highlight, you can always do something like that and change it as you need to. Oh, friends. So we'll go to Minion Pro and we'll pull it down to regular for right now. This will be a Sanskrit. This will be a sans serif. We go down to Myriad Pro. I'm going to switch it to semi-bold. Do I have a semi-bold? I don't have a semi-bold. I updated my fonts. We're going to just leave it like that. If you have semi-bold, that's great. You can always get it from your Creative Cloud. And we're going to save. Okay. So we're going to change our clipping mask. Or we're going to change our text and we're going to add a clipping mask and then we're going to add a shadow. So we have our typecast selected. Our layers panel is showing it. We're going to place an embedded image. So we're going to go to File, Place Embedded, and we're going to grab this metal.tif file. It's a very large file, you can see here. We're going to place that. So there's our metal right here. We are going to say, with this selected, we're going to right click and we're going to say create clipping mask right down here. Do you see how because your file was selected and it went ahead and did this so that it has created your image inside the text? And you can see it's because it's got this arrow drop down here. Your metal image is restricted to only being inside that font, your text layer. We're going to put an inner shadow to create like this, like it's dropping inside. So let's do this. We're going to go down here. Now that this is selected, we're going to go over to our typecast layer. We're going to go here and we're going to say inner shadow. Okay. The settings is going to be, we're going to set the opacity for 48. We're going to have the angle at 120. We are going to change the distance to 18. The choke is 0 and our size is 16. And we're going to hit OK. So see that? So you can change the effect just to see. Now it looks like this is higher up than this and has a little drop shadow in there. We are going to save our work so far. And now we're going to create type on a path. So your type can follow the path. You'll draw this with a shape tool. And just a reminder, the direction that it flows depends on the order in which the anchor points were added. So if you're using a horizontal type tool to add a path, the letters are perpendicular to the baseline. And if you change the location, the type moves with it, right? So if you want to start writing from the left to the right, you're going to have to start on left side to the right side, vice versa. We're good. I'm going to go here. We're going to, in our layers panel here, we're going to select this models layer. We're going to choose window. We're going to go to paths right here. This dialog box will come up. So you can see speech path and we're going to make that active. Look at that. See? Wee, wee, wee. We're going to select the horizontal type tool. It's right here. we are going to, in this option bar, we're going to do a write a line of text right there. We're going to use Myriad Pro. We are going to use regular right here. And then we're going to change the size of the font to 14. And we're going to change, you can go over here too. Myriad Pro regular, we got our 14. We'll change the tracking to -10. It's going to make it very much more close together than normally would be. We're going to have the color white, and it's going to be in all caps. Now we're going to take that horizontal tool and we're going to hover over the path. When the small curved line appears across that I-bar, click near the edge of the path closest to the model's mouth and type "What's new in 3D type." See that? I'm going to make sure that our speech path is selected. There we go. I'm going to say "What new in 3D type?" ? We're going to highlight 3D type and the exclamation point, and we're going to change that to bold, even though it's there. This should have been regular, sorry. There we go. Okay, what's new in 3D type? And we're going to commit to that. So we're going to go here and we're going to duplicate. We're going to right click that and hit duplicate layer. And we are going to move this one so we can't see the duplicate one because obviously it's on top of the other. But once we go ahead and transform this, we can go to edit, free transform path, which is on. I'm going to hit Command T. I'm going to drag it up. And I'm going to angle that a little bit. It's right under her nose. We're going to change 3D type and we're going to change it to web. And we're going to do the same thing below by going here and go ahead and duplicate that layer. We're going to drag that down. We're going to change the angle of it like this. And we're going to move it like this. We're going to move this one down too if we select what's new in 3D type, what's new in text effects, type effects. Okay. Align those to where we're kind of happy. Neat. Yeah, so we're going to save that. And you can triple check them to make sure that they're like 15 degrees different, but I just tilted them. You're fine. So we're gonna warp the point type. So the text on a curvy path is much more interesting than straight lines would be. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take the what's new in 3D type layer, and we're gonna make sure 3D type. We're gonna go to type, and we're gonna go to warp text. Okay. Oh yes, we're going to remove a faux bold. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. Okay, so on all these, heads up, remove that faux bold. I left that on. My bad. This will help you. Okay. So let's go here. And we are going to modify this by going up to type. And then we are going to go to warp text. Now, if you have the If you have the faux bold on, it'll give you an error message here. You just go back and click this here. So we're going to warp our text. We're going to go ahead and pick a wave. It's right here. We are going to do a bend of 33, positive 33. We're going to change our horizontal distortion to -23. And we're going to do an increased vertical distortion of 5. Cool. We're going to hit OK. That's now warped. The words what's new in 3D type, it kind of floats like a wave. So we're going to do the same thing that we did prior for warping the other two text layers, and you can try something a little bit different if you want. So let's select here. We're going to go up to Type, Warp Text. You can do the exact same thing if you want. When you pull it up, the settings should still go back to however you want it. You can do something where it's like the, ooh. Okay, so you can have it however you want. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Type, warp. And you can be crazy if you want, but let's just stick with the wave. Okay, so we're just going to keep it like that. And then we're going to save. Okay, so we're going to bring in some more guides here. So we are going to drag a guide from the left and put it 1/4 away from the right edge of the canvas. So we're going to go right over here. So here's your edge of the canvas. We're going to go all the way over here, and we're going to click right about. There you go. Right where our typecast font ends. If you have it as a smaller type, it won't hit that edge, but mine does. So then we're going to drag another guide from the top, and we're going to bring it 2 inches from the top of the canvas. Okay. So we're going to go here, and we're going to click, and we're going to drag it down, and we're going to go to 2 inches, which is right there. Okay. You can add the text. So if you're collaborating on this, if you're using Share, or if you're working with a team or somebody has notes, there are times when you can have a comment added to pull the text. So say you've got a client and they've promised to get you the copy for an advertisement and you're sharing this document with them. They can add it into using File Share for Review, and they can add a little sticky note. So we're going to take our Move tool over here, and we are going to go to the, there we go, down to this little sticky note that's down here at the bottom. And we're going to double click it. So if you see here, they left a note. This trend cast. What's hot? Designer interviews. What's not? Comic Sans, gradient type, scripted fonts. Sure. So all these text lines should be selected. So we have it selected. You can always Command C. I'm going to go edit. I'm going to say edit copy. We're going to go over to the model layer that we have here. Okay, right there. You can get the horizontal type tool. I'm going to drag here. It's about 4 by 6. Okay, we're going to paste in that text. We are going to change this trend cast. I'm going to change that size to 70. I already have it right aligned, by the way, but we're going to change this to 55. We're going to change this to 50. Got white. Then we're going to change this to bold. Okay, this trend cast. Now we're going to go to the rest of the text that we had, which is down here. Do another Myriad Pro, which we're on. Regular. We're going to change the font size to 22. We're going to change the leading. Okay, right here. And then 28, not 287, 28. We're going to change that tracking to 0. We're going to deselect all caps. Let's make these pieces stand out. So let's go to the What's Hot. We're going to make that bold. We're going to change that to 28. Increased by 6. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing down here for What's Not. We're going to go to bold. And then we're going to go to 28. Okay. We're going to select the word trend. And we are going to update the color. So we're going to change the RGB to 0, 174, 239. Or you can use that hexadecimal code, 00AEEF. So if you go here to your color, Let's do that. 0, 0, A, E, E, F. There's that blue. Okay, we're going to click off to look at it, and we're going to hit save. So as we finish up here, you're going to clean a bit before saving in the finished project. So you're going to get your move tool near the top left corner of that yellow note icon. Okay, right here. Delete note. Yes. We're going to go to up to view, show, guides. That way they're hidden. See that? And then you're going to file, save. All right, you've added that. Now that design is ready. You'll export a copy and upload it to your little podcast service. We're going to hold the shift key and do this. Okay, and there you go. You are done. You've got your whole text. It was part 1, part 2. You manipulated the front, and then you got the back. Excellent job.